Brief history lesson. Storm is an old deck based around cards that have the Storm ability. It says when you cast the spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. So Grape Shot, pretty much red for most players. If this is the 20th spell you have cast this turn, you win the game. Along with cards like Grape Shot, these decks would usually run things like Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, cards that gave them extra mana when played, as opposed to most cards that cost mana to play. In Standard, we don't have Storm cards, and we don't have any sort of these ritual effects. So is it going to be possible to make a Storm deck in Standard? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to the Art of Artisan. Today we are going to be trying to play Standard Storm. The core of this deck that makes it work is Stormkiln Artist. Stormkiln Artist has an ability that whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, we make a treasure token, which in other words means we get a 1 mana discount off of any spell we play. However, what makes this deck work is this copy effect. So the way that we are going to actually make more mana than we spent on our spells is with copy spells. The way that this works is a little bit complicated, but if we cast Teach by Example, and then we cast another Teach by Example, the second one will get copied, which means in the end, Stormkiln Artist will make 3 treasures off of casting 2 of those. If we cast 3, then we end up making 3 treasures off of the third one for a total of 6 treasures. If we somehow end up with 4 or 5, we start making a ton of mana off of these cards. So this is our hope for being able to make extra mana with this deck and actually be able to storm off, be playing a ton of spells, and eventually Stormkiln Artist will have a massive attack power because we'll have a bunch of these extra treasures lying around once we start getting net positive on them. This copy plan also works well with spells that have additional costs to play. So cards like Big Score say that you need to discard a card to cast it, but if you copy the spell, you only need to discard 1 card, but you get this effect twice of drawing 2 cards and creating 2 treasure tokens. So if we can do a chain of copy spells into any of these cards, we end up, well, maybe not Village Rites, but we end up making a bunch of treasures and drawing a large chunk of our deck, which will hopefully allow us to do it again. However, to make this deck work, we're going to also need sacrifice synergies, because we need to be able to cast these Deadly Disputes and Village Rites. For that, we have Rotten Reunion as actually one of our best spells. This can pretty much make a zombie for free if we have Stormkiln Artist on the battlefield, and it's something that we can sacrifice. Shambling Ghast is also sort of free because it makes a treasure when it dies. And then Unlucky Witness, this is one of the cards that made me want to build this deck once New Capenna came out, because it helps us to dig 2 cards deep when it dies. It doesn't net us back any mana, but being able to dig 2 cards deep is really powerful in a deck like this. And then we also got Rob the Archives. This card is really great because it copies itself already, which means this card with Stormkiln Artist on the battlefield costs 0 mana to play, and it digs us 4 cards deep. So if we play a Rotten Reunion into Rob the Archives, without any copy spells or any shenanigans, that's getting us 2 extra cards this turn for 0 mana. And that's how we're going to try and churn through our deck and find more copy spells, and eventually maybe play multiple Stormkiln Artists and get enough mana that in the end of our game, we can throw one of our Stormkiln Artists at our opponent's face with Kazul's Fury. Open the Omen Pass is also in the deck to help us play a second Stormkiln Artist. It's also just to get our Stormkiln Artist down fast, because our deck does nothing without Stormkiln Artist. It is really a bad deck. But once we reach 5 mana, maybe, we can play Stormkiln Artist into Dual Strike, we can start chaining stuff off, and we usually win the turn that we start playing spells with a Stormkiln Artist on the battlefield. If our opponent removes Stormkiln Artist, we lose. This deck is not very resilient. It is not a best of 3 deck. It is not even maybe a good deck, but it is absolutely a fun deck if you want to combo off and see your opponent go, what the heck is going on? So that is Standard Sacrifice Storm. Let's go to the games and see how it does. Alrighty, going into game 1. I'm really scared that our opponent's just going to remove Storm Kiln Artist and this is not going to work at all, but I'm going to make this video even if I go 0-5 because it's just such a unique idea. We have a Storm Kiln Artist. We've got 2 mana. We don't have any black mana to be able to dig deeper. We do have a lot of dual lands in the deck, but it always hurts to throw back a Storm Kiln Artist hand because we really need it. Guess we keep this. We'll stick Gruul's Fury to the bottom. We'll hopefully draw into our other one later. Oh yeah, I forgot to change my pet back to the dragon. Alrighty, so to start off, we're probably just going to play Shambling Ghast into Rob the Archives as a way to dig into our deck later. But it's kind of annoying because Rob the Archives is sorcery speed, so if we had a Storm Kiln Artist, it's not that good. So I'm not actually sure what line we're going to take here. Lots of copy spells is good. I think we just foretell this for when we get in a Storm Kiln. Our opponent's on blue-red, and they foretold a card, which makes me think we are going to get absolutely bodied by removal. Yeah, I think we just play out the Shambling Ghast. It's probably going to die, but at the very least, it'll get us a treasure, which means if we do draw Storm Kiln Artist, we might have the mana to combo off the turn we play it. I mean, we really just need to hope our opponent taps out at any point. Once our opponent taps out, they may feel safe. I mean, they're at 21 life. They might have a sweeper in hand and just go, oh yeah, I'm safe to play this big planeswalker or whatever. And if they ever do that and we have Storm Kiln in hand, we probably will just win. Okay. Do we save up? Yeah, I think we're going to try and play Big Score. And as much as we like copy spells, I think we ditch. We might just ditch Rob the Archives. If our opponent goes for anything that kills our Shambling Ghast, we go Teach by Example into Deadly Dispute. That'll get us 3 treasures and dig us 4 cards deep. That should be pretty good. What's our opponent up to? What would red-blue have foretold? Crush the Weak, Dual Strike. Uh-oh. Actually, maybe good. That may mean that our... Oh, that's what... It's a Dual Strike. This is Tasha's Hideous Laughter deck. Oh shoot, we have a Gruul's Fury on the bottom of our deck, and we need to draw the other one. I think we just do this now. I don't see any reason not to do it now, but I also don't see any reason to not do it later. I just want to see what we're dealing with here. Okay, make a treasure. Please draw into Storm Kiln Artist. Storm Kiln Artist. It's not Storm Kiln. So that is Unlucky Witness is definitely one of the better cards we want to draw. Did they hit Gruul's Fury? They hit a Storm Kiln. They did not hit a Gruul's Fury. Okay. They hit Rob the Archives. Okay, we still got 3 Storm Kilns in our deck and both Gruul's Furies. Last end of turn. My turn. Another Unlucky Witness. Okay, I think we just do this. Play it out. It's gonna. Oh, I shouldn't have played a land. Oh, I should not have played a land. But we really want to draw into our Storm Kiln Artist fast. Okay, big score. Gruul's Fury. Okay. We're going to try and combo off right here. Let's see if we can do it. So we can Dual Strike. Oh, we can't do it. Oh, we need 1 more mana to do it. If we had 1 more mana, we could just chain a bunch of spells into... Wait a second. Does this work? Okay, so we can Dual Strike into Rotten Reunion. That'll get us 3 mana, which is enough to Teach by Example into Dual Strike, which will leave us with 3 mana, which we can't do anything with. Oh, we're so close. We're so close, but it's not going to do it. Alright, yep, I guess we just pass and hope they don't have any removal for Stormkiln. Or Tasha's Hideous Laughter. That also just straight up kills us, which they have. Okay. Oh, we were 1 mana away. I think we won that turn if we had 1 more mana. That was super close. Yeah, I'm guessing they have Maddening Cacophony. Yep, Maddening Cacophony. Can we do anything at instant speed for fun? Well, they're gonna mill our last Gruul Fury, so there's no chance we win here. Resolve, just so you guys can see part of the combo. I'm gonna instant speed start of my turn. Show you some of the coolness here. So we get that, resolve, play dual strike. Here, I'm gonna stop being in full control here. And we chain these together, make some mana, pop off a little, and then we would play big score. Yep. Oh, we could have made a bunch of treasures, and we would have drawn into the Gruul Fury, so we were 1 mana away. Oh, super duper close game. Me and my opponent just did not interact with each other. Both came really close to winning. Alright, on to game 2. Alright, game 2, we are coming for you. This time, my dragon is blue. Whoop-de-doo. Alrighty, let's see if we do a bit better this time against Codfish. Okay, we've got Stormkiln, we've got early plays. Seize the Spoils is really nice as a card to play before Stormkiln. Just getting us the treasure. We'll do this. Also, I like to chump block with Unlucky Witness the turn before we combo off, because we will have the cards from it. Like, it's a pretty good play to have Unlucky Witness as a chump blocker down. Don't really have much. Ooh, this is actually, I think for the first time ever, I think our deck is a decent matchup against Runes. I beat Runes both times when I was testing the deck and trying to tune the numbers and everything. So hopefully we do about as well this time. Okay, it's not Runes, it's just straight up Enchantress. So maybe it'll be a bit different, but I don't think so. Okay, seize the spoils. Discard our Rotten Reunion. Another Stormkiln, that's protection. And we do not attack. We don't have any copy spells, so I don't think we want to try and go off yet. I think we just leave back Unlucky Witness as a blocker. Okay, that's a scary card. But our opponent is also scared to attack right now. Yep. Okay. I guess we just drop our first Stormkiln artist. Get ready to combo off next turn. Especially where we have this Unlucky Witness to sacrifice. I think we should be able to win next turn if they don't have removal. Which looks like they don't. Okay. Time to pop off. Our opponent thinks they're way ahead. But I think we've got him. Okay. 5 damage to the dome. That does mean we have to deal 5 more to our opponent here. But I think we've got it. Alright, yeah. Let's draw. Deadly Dispute is good. So we'll lead off with Village Rites on Unlucky Witness. See what we hit. And that's a free spell to cast. Okay, Gruul Fury, so we kind of need to win this turn or bust. Rob the Archives on our Shambling Ghast is a great play. Is there any wrong? Okay, yeah. We do not want to play our second Stormkiln, because then we will not have the mana to actually do anything. Though, as soon as we get the chance to play Stormkiln, we want to, because then we pretty much have infinite mana with the way our deck's built. Okay, draw 2. Unlucky Witness is okay. Okay, we can now play a land, which means if we play Stormkiln, we've got 3 mana left over. Okay, I think we've got this. I think we win. Okay, Stormkiln Artist. Now we play Rotten Reunion. Oh shoot, I don't remember which ones are. We also are on a clock already. Okay. Stormkiln Artist makes a couple treasures. We Deadly Dispute. Okay, these two are from the Unlucky Witness, I believe. We auto-pay that. We have not hit any copy spells, but that's fine because we've got two Stormkiln Artists. So I think we just pop off regardless of whether we have copy spells or not. There's a copy spell. Okay. Now we Teach by Example. Auto-pay. Into Big Score. And that should draw us enough and make us enough treasures that we should just win right off. Gruul's Fury we can no longer cast because it came off of Unlucky Witness. We'll discard it. Land, we don't care about lands because we are not taking another turn after this. We either win or we lose. Oh goodness, if we just run out of time and that's what kills us, I'll be so mad. Okay, Unlucky Witness, hurry. Unlucky Witness, come on. Auto pay. Good. Dual Strike. Cast it. Auto pay. Those two triggers on the stack. Deadly Dispute. Auto pay. Oh, we're so close. Come on. Sacrifice Unlucky Witness. Put the triggers on the stack. Treasure, treasure. Put the triggers on the stack. Treasure, treasure. Draw two. Okay, that's another draw spell. Come on. Okay, now we make, oh yikes, Rotten Reunion. Okay, even if we, submit 0. Even if we lose this game because of the clock, I'm counting this as a win because we are almost guaranteed to draw into our Gruul's Fury by the end of this. All right, rob the archives with casualty, auto pay. At this point, we won't even need to copy our Gruul's Fury. We'll just have a big enough Stormkiln Artist to just straight up win. We just need to hit 26 cards left in the deck, like 0 time. We've got to hit it. Come on. No. Okay, Stormkiln Artist number 3. I think we've just got to leave up blockers now. Dual Strike. Go, go, go. Auto pay. Please. Deck, come on. Big Score. Go. Discard this land. Yes, submit 1. Please. If we hit Gruul's Fury, I think we win. Come on. Oh no, we're not going to get to play. Oh, turns over. Oh, no attacks. Okay, we've still got a chance here. Okay, not Shambling Ghast. That's the fastest one to play. Shambling Ghast, go. Deadly Dispute it. Deadly Dispute, auto pay. Actually, we'll just Deadly Dispute a treasure at this point. Submit 1. Go, 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 go. Gotta hit it. We've got to hit it soon. Okay, Big Score. Just cast it. Auto pay. It's still a ritual effect. Discard a card. Put the triggers on the stack. Boom, boom, boom. Draw 2. Okay, that's it. And now we Teach by Example. Auto pay it. Dun, dun, dun. And Gruul's Fury. We got there. At your face. Auto pay. Oh my goodness. Sacrifice. Submit 1. We got there. Woo! That was a close clock. And we are 1-1. I feel bad for our opponents when we play this because it is just a giant game of solitaire. But the deck is so consistent now with Rob the Archives and Unlucky Witness that if we stick a Stormkiln Artist, our opponent doesn't go too fast, then we win. We win so consistently. Like, you saw how much leeway we had. We could easily draw our entire deck there. So that was fantastic. Let's go on to game 3. On to game 3. I hope Kazul's Fury will be closer to the top of my deck this time, so I don't run out of time. Alright, mob scene. Okay, we've got Seize the Spoils and Dual Strike into Big Score. We don't have Stormkiln Artist. There were 2 games when I was fine-tuning the deck where I had all 4 of my Stormkiln. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm feeling confident in this. If our opponent doesn't have removal or counter spells, like they tap out, I think we're going to win this game pretty easily. Okay. Valentine. Interesting. It's not a card I see all that often. Oh. Okay, more copy spells is fantastic. We need 6 mana to be able to pop off with Stormkiln Artist the turn that we play it at this point. So if our opponent ever taps out and we have 6 mana, we just go for it. Yeah, I think this is a turn where we just play a Rotten Reunion. And then we can rob the archives with it to hit our land drop next turn. That seems like a reasonable line to take. I'm not sure what our opponent's doing. They're Grixis with random cards. I have no idea what our opponent is doing. Okay. If we draw an untapped land, I think we win this turn. Submit 0. Okay. Deadly Dispute. That is not an untapped land, but that might be the best possible non-land we could have drawn. Because I want to save Rob the Archives for our combo turn. Because it's gonna... Rob the Archives is not very good for card draw because you lose the cards at the end of the turn. But Dual Strike, Teach by Example into Big Score. Oh, good. Tap out. Play something else. It looks like our opponent's Grixis Vampires. Okay. That's a weird deck. Vampires is something from the new set. It got some support. Just haven't really seen anyone trying to play it. Alright, they're not tapped out enough. I'm not sure whether we go for it or not. Do we survive a turn if we don't go for it? They hit us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they can kill us because Angie can sack. Anya can sack the devil. So we just have to play cards and hope our opponent doesn't have removal. This is probably getting countered. I'm guessing that's a saw it coming. And if it's a saw it coming, we are pretty close to dead. Okay, let's dual strike. Is this a removal spell? Please don't remove my Stormkiln Artist. That would make me sad. Is there any chance we go off instant speed while dual strikes on the stack? Poison the Cup. What the heck? Okay. Teach by example. We will do some copying of spells. What do we want to copy? We play Rotten Reunion here. It's kind of a sad play, but we're going to make a lot of zombies and we'll get all the value off of this Stormkiln Artist. Submit 0. And we make a couple zombies. Stormkiln Artist does die. That's an issue. They foretold it. So they draw Scry 2. You get that dual strike going. But we don't have anything to do with it. Ugh. Like we can rob the archives on one of our zombies, but that does nothing for us. It looks like we lost to removal, We probably should have just played Unlucky Witness and used it to chump block. But then our opponent just kills it, and then they had the 12 damage in hand by doing shenanigans with Sacrifice. So yep, we were dead anyways. Okay, there's a very small chance we make this. If Unlucky Witness flips a Stormkill Artist. Oh, nope, it won't. Valentine makes sure it won't. That's actually a really good answer to our deck. That card alone causes us some serious issues. Submit 1. Our opponent only has to pay 2 to make us lose 1 life. So they can just like spend their mana and pretty close to kill us directly. We hit some teach by examples. Okay, so we have a tiny chance still. If we teach by example into big score. Let's see if this works. Big score. Discard Rob the Archives. Actually, there's no way this gets us out of it. Like, we could draw a bunch of creatures to just chump with. There's the Stormkiln again. And nothing to do with it. We play Stormkiln, we lose. Alright. And that is the downside to the deck. I think our opponent might not have seen the line with being able to sacrifice devils and stuff. I think we should have just waited until our opponent tapped down a bit more. Maybe, but they would have just still had the card. But yeah, we're dead. Very, very dead. Alright, well played, opponent. On to game 3. Actually meant to say on to game 4. But I am actually really happy with how this is going, even if we have a losing record so far, because it has felt extremely close. If our opponent tapped down one more thing that last game, we won. Most likely. The deck is just so consistent once we go off. The first game, we were just 1 mana away from going off. Game 2, we won. Okay, we've got Rotten Reunion into Deadly Dispute. We've got a copy spell. Xul's Fury is a little awkward in hand. That does nothing unless we already are comboing off, in which case we're drawing so many cards that we don't really worry about getting it into our hand. Although I guess it'll make it easier to not time out. And tap plans aren't that bad with this deck, because we're really just waiting for the turn where we combo off. There's very little setup before it, besides trying to dig for our Stormkill Artist, and foretelling Dual Strike, maybe playing an Unlucky Witness. Not much beyond those sorts of things, though. Ooh. This is kind of a fun deck where Rotten Reunion is actually kind of a better card than Shambling Ghast, simply because we can cast it twice. It's like a 0 mana spell with Stormkill on the battlefield, and then it can be a 1 mana, get another creature to sacrifice if we're ever not drawing any sacrifice fodder. Very good card for this deck. I'm waiting for the game where it also just ruins our opponent because they have... Okay. Playing some kind of... I'm not sure what our opponent's up to, but it might be just some sort of +1/+1. I mean, it's probably a +1/+1 counter stack, but... Oh, that means they're probably playing Luminarch Aspirant this turn. And that is a clock. That is a very fast clock. Aspirant? Oh no, just Liberator. Okay, I'm not sure what our opponent's up to. Is this just like a Selesnya mid-range deck? I don't get why they do Swarm Shambler in that, but... Like, it doesn't even... Most of the removal right now in top tier decks is... that's awkward. Most of the top tier removal right now is sweepers. Foretell this. Just, for when we need it. Oh, we flipped it. That was... We maybe should have just Deadly Disputed on our turn to prevent it from flipping. Yeah, that increases their clock. That increases their clock too. Are they gonna remove my zombie? Looked like they were looking at it. Yeah, that's 5 damage. Rob the archives. Is that worth playing here? No. What do we want to play though? We can't play our Kazul's Fury or discard it because it's the only one left in our deck. This is kind of derpy, but I think we just Rotten Reunion into Deadly Dispute. Submit 0. I probably should have done this before I played my land drop. Yeah, this was a dumb play. I should not be doing any of this. I'll just Deadly Dispute. Oh, wait, no. I remember why I wanted to do it. We're flipping the Trap Breaker. Decrease our opponent's clock by 1. And every little bit counts when we're trying to combo off. Like, just if we get one more turn, that can be the game. Witness. Okay. We're not drawing into Stormkiln, which means we are unlikely to win this. We will get an Unlucky Witness chump blocker next turn, along with probably just dropping Rob the Archives to a big score. Yeah, I'm not liking our chances here. Luminarch Aspirant is just super powerful when we were playing a deck that has 0 interaction. I mean, I guess the deck's so consistent at this point. Like, I used to play this before we got big score as better, like, which is easier to cast, Rob the Archives, Unlucky Witness. Before Streets of New Capenna, the deck was, you had to devote the entire deck to the combo, because otherwise you just span your wheels and did pretty much nothing. But now that we've got such consistency, I'm wondering if we should play like 4 Shambling Gas as removal and like just maybe some Spike Field hazards. We're okay with tap lands in this deck. I don't know. It's a tough call with it, but should be safe to just Unlucky Witness into big score. Now the big question is, do we dual strike the big score? That means we're more likely to draw Stormkiln Artist, but it's less likely to pop off. I think we do it though. This deck is so good at popping off. I keep saying it. And we'll have Rob the Archives on the zombie. Like we should do pretty well. And we'll have a bunch of treasures. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Okay, puts the counter on itself. They attack. Oh, they're going to destroy my treasure. Well, I will tap this treasure for red mana, and I will cast a Dual Strike. Haha, take that, opponent. Yeah, I guess having treasures laying around is not that useful when our opponent's got removal for him. What are they up to? It looks like they're looking at... Yeah, we are definitely blocking, because our opponent could have lethal with, like, Snakeskin Veil. Though, okay, good. Opponent hits us to 5, so we've just got to win. Please flip a Stormkiln Artist. That is the best flip we can get off of this. Okay, big score is okay. Oh, actually, that's great, because we can cast that instead of one from our hand. And that means we get to keep big score and Rob the Archives in our hand. Which heightens the odds of us winning. Okay, that's Stormkiln. That's Stormkiln. That's 2 Stormkilns and an Unlucky Witness. Okay, I think we're going to win this. Oh, and a Copy Spell. Okay. Stormkiln into Copy Spell into big score. Is that the starting line? I think so. Stormkiln. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have instant speed removal. If they do, we kind of just die here. I think the only thing they've got in hand is like Snakeskin Veil. That seems the most likely. Okay, now what do we drop here? I think just Village Rites. Because Unlucky Witness into Rob the Archives is a pretty good line. We're gonna have 6 mana at the end of this. Not enough to play Stormkiln into Unlucky into Rob. That is enough to do Stormkiln into Rot and into Rob. And we've got the land too. Okay. Stormkiln Artist, number 2. Pay for that. If our opponent tries to kill our Stormkiln Artist, I think we just Deadly Dispute it or something. Okay, Unlucky Witness. Then we rob the Archives with our Unlucky Witness. Alright, we're popping off. This deck is so consistent once we stick the Stormkiln. Like, sticking Stormkiln, extremely inconsistent. But if we do stick a Stormkiln, I feel like we cannot lose. Like, this is just incredible value here. I mean, that's pretty much every spell at this point is just a crazy ritual. Rob the Archives, that's a good card. I'm going to play Rob the Archives right off the bat before I forget that it's the one from the Witness. Don't want to accidentally, because you can only play one of the 2 cards you get off of the Witness. Yes, sure, give me all of it. So I want to play that one because it's the most important one to play. Exile the top 2. Okay, we're coming close. Like, a copy spell would be really helpful here. Uh-oh, are we fizzling? Oh my goodness, that is a lot of lands. Okay, all of these are rituals. Submit 0. Like, holy lands, Batman. Oh, yikes. This is actually looking kind of sketchy now. Are we just going to die to not... Okay, this Deadly Dispute has to hit us a card, draw spell. Or a copy spell. Copy spell also wins us this game. Rotten Reunions are currently rituals with the 2 Stormkiln Artists down. Okay, Deadly Dispute. If this doesn't hit anything, I will be so sad. Like, come on, we popped off. We have to win. Hit something. Maybe this deck isn't consistent enough when you draw a bazillion lands in a... Okay, that's it. That's the game. Okay, Dual Strike. Pay for that. Does this win the game? Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Wait, these are both Summoning Sick? Oh, shoot. We can't win this turn. So we have to pay for this. Oh, no! Um, did we just lose? I think we just lost. If we just drop our Kazul's Fury right now, it doesn't work. So I think all we can do is copy this Rotten Reunion. Oh, I shouldn't have played that Dual Strike. I shouldn't have played Dual Strike. So we're going to have to chump block with both of our Stormkiln Artists. Ah! Well, yeah, flipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands off the top was not good here. Might as well play this and then lose. Oh, if one of these wasn't Summoning Sick, if we had like haste or something, we could swing in and then Kazul's Fury won. Yeah, that's the game. Oh my goodness, that's the game. That is hyper disappointing. Wait, no. Okay, Outland Liberator flipped. Oh, trample. Okay. Okay, opponent. No need to be so cool. Okay. They attack with those. We have like 0 outs. But, okay, this is so dumb. But what we have to do is this, and then we have to fling one of our Storm Kiln artists at the Gnarlid colony. Okay, that's fine, because it is actually not going to have trample. Gnarlid colony is going to get destroyed by one of our Storm Kiln artists. Okay, now somehow we have to kill our opponent in a more reasonable way. Open the Omen Pass. Wait a second. Creatures I control get plus. Okay, no, that's not going to do it. But we almost have enough zombies to do something funny with that. That would certainly be a surprise win. Okay, our opponent has lethal on board. We have nothing we can do about it. Creatures I control get +1. Maybe I should have just Kazoo. No, because then I would have died. We hit him for 12 and then we lose. Alrighty. I thought we had that one. I thought we had it, but we fizzled. We drew so many lands off the top there. Let's concede. Yeah, so like our remaining 22 cards, if we dropped like, here, let me look at this real quick. View battlefield. So we had here 1 land in our graveyard, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We only had 5 lands in our remaining cards. Like, these are super just full of gas. Hitting straight lands with our Rob the Archives was super unlucky. Alrighty. Oh, we could have also won if we didn't play the Dual Strike. If we didn't play the Dual Strike, we could have Dual Striked, killed the Gnarlid, and hit our opponent's face, and then opened the Omen Pass. So we actually did have lethal that game. But I messed it up. Hard deck to play. I guess on to game 5. Alright, game 5. We've got a losing record, guaranteed. Although, I really think that if I hadn't have cast that Dual Strike, we would have probably been able to get lethal by Dual Striking Kazul's Fury on our opponent's turn to hit their face and remove a block and remove their Gnarlid. And then from there, we could have just swung in with a bunch of zombies and opened the Omen Pass. Did not think about all the damage the zombies were going to deal, but we had a lot. This is a really good hand. Like, this is a pretty dang good hand. Hitting lands will be important, but we're going second. Ooh, the hand is getting better. We're going to play Unlucky Witness and Rotten Reunion, just set ourselves up a bit. And it looks like our opponent's doing something slow. No, they're not. They're going to be go wide aggro. Okay. I guess we try and slow down our opponent as much as possible. So we'll just drop the Unlucky Witness as a blocker and pass the turn. Now our opponent probably doesn't want to attack with the Prosperous Innkeeper. That'll save us a little bit of life. Every bit counts. Speaking of every bit counts, it's going to be hard to actually kill our opponent with this board state. They're going to start gaining a lot of life here. Oh, a lot of life. Okay. Definitely a go wide aggro deck. And it's more of a go wide mid-range deck. And I'm guessing they're playing Jetmir in their deck. They're probably just trying to try out the new card. Do I foretell a Dual Strike? Foretelling a Dual Strike gives me the best chance of really comboing off the turn I play Storm Kiln. Does mean I don't get to Deadly Dispute with a blocker this turn. I guess I lean towards no. I do not Deadly Dispute. What I do, I mean, I don't Dual Strike. I think I just Deadly Dispute this on my turn. Flip some stuff. Okay, just in case I hit like a 1-drop to play. Thought I'd do that. We're gonna have 5 mana, which is not enough to pop off, so we do not block with Unlucky Witness yet. Next turn we just Foretell Dual Strike. Jetmir. That is scary. Okay. We're definitely gonna need to block Jetmir next turn. They just want more tokens. Fair, fair. Have Trample. Uh-oh. They're probably gonna have Trample next turn. If they have Trample, I probably just straight up lose. Oh, shoot. I can Foretell Dual Strike and pretty much just die. I can cast Big Score and potentially set myself up to go super crazy ham somehow. Well, no attacks. Hope my opponent doesn't get Trample and +1 for all their creatures. That's asking for a lot. Please have nothing. Please have nothing. Oh, they could literally just turn on their Cave of the Frost Dragon and they win. But I don't think they're going to consider that line. Oh, that's another way to win. And Luminarch Aspirant, sure. That is well over. Yeah, that's well over enough damage to kill us. So even if I hadn't have punted last game, we still would have the losing record. Well, that is super disappointing. Block Jetmir, doesn't really matter who we block. Let's see what we would have hit with Big Score. Rob the Archives, that probably would have helped a ton. I think we could have gone off next turn. Well, that's the game. Our opponent popped off with Jetmir, and we couldn't do anything about it. Trample really hurt there. Well, that's a pretty bad losing record, although pretty big caveat there. I guess I'll talk about that in the wrap-up. Well, 1-4. Doesn't sound that good, but I'm going to stand by that it should have been a 2-3. I just thought that I had lethal and I didn't, and I wasted a copy spell, and I could have killed them the next turn. So that was a pretty sad thing that happened. But even with that, we have a losing record. But I'm going to add another caveat to that. If our opponent... Okay, so the last game was a clean loss. That was a clean loss. Our first game, if we had 1 more mana, we would have won. And then our second game, if our opponent had 1 less mana, I don't think there was like anything that... I don't think they would have played around it. So it felt like we could have just as easily gone 4-1 and 1-4 if I played better and if there were just very slight changes. So there's no sideboard that I'll talk about for this deck. It's really not worth trying to play in best of 3. Things that I noticed, we may want to go up to 3 Gruul's Fury with this deck. There were a couple times where I had both Gruul's Furies, or like one of them gets exiled to Rob the Archives, and now the other one we cannot play because we have to use it as lethal. There were also a couple places where maybe having 2 Gruul's Fury could have let us, like in game 4, we could have just pitched both Stormkiln Artists without copy spells. So I think it might be worth trimming a mountain to grab one, because the tap lands didn't feel that bad in this game. Like, this is a deck with 6, I guess, with Gruul's Fury, 8 tap lands, and it never felt that bad. Unlucky Witness, fantastic addition to the deck. Same with Rob the Archives. These 2 cards are what make me think it might be worth playing. And the deck is so consistent now that unless we draw 7 lands off of a bunch of exiled cards, 2 Rob the Archives in a row that pretty much did nothing. I think we could, like, go for some more Shambling Gas. Maybe trim. I'm not sure what to trim, though. Open the Omen Paths, we never saw it do anything in these games. So maybe I'd go one, open the Omen Paths for another Shambling Ghast, just as something that we can use as interaction and block our opponent out. Maybe trim another Rotten Reunion for one. Because it was pretty rare that we needed both the tokens from Rotten Reunion. So I guess if I were to make changes, I'd go down Rotten Reunion, up Shambling Ghast, down Open the Omen Paths, up Shambling Ghast, up Kazul's Fury, down Mountain. And that's about as good as it can get. If you wanted to go non-budget, I would lean towards going Grixis, because then we can get Galvanic Iteration, which is a very powerful card for this deck, because we saw how good Stormkiln is with multiple copy spells. And Galvanic Iteration, you can discard it to seize the spoils and big score. You can just start going off pretty well with that. But the rest of the deck, I think that I think that Galvanic Iteration is the only pretty big addition to the deck that you'd add. You'd have to fix the mana base as well. You could maybe start adding in some counter spells in your sideboard. Maybe throw in some Jwari disruptions, because tap lands aren't that much of a problem. So this is the deck. Sacrifice Storm, like Stormkiln Artist, this is the best he's ever looked. I've been trying to do this so many different ways in Alchemy and Standard, and this feels like the best deck. We could have gone 4-1, I feel like, as easily as we went 1-4. So thanks for watching, y'all, and if you do want to try the deck, if you have suggestions for ways that you've built it differently, let me know in the comments. And other than that, just have fun with Budget Magic, y'all.